my go-kart. I'm Warhol, I'm Warhol, I'm Wario when I'm in Mario Kart. Top in the charts, acing my parts, chop on my locker when running these bars. Coca full of veins, I'm insane, trip through memory lane. Out in that rush, you know, and I...
Yo, what's going on, everybody? I'm very excited to bring you guys this video just because I was sitting here and just messing around with some effects, and I really thought of the Young Lean, Kyoto, and all those like crazy super effects. So if you guys are a fan of Young Lean, if you even know whose music that is, it's kind of like psychedelic rap. I'm not even that big of a fan of the music itself. I think it is kind of catchy, but editing of those kind of videos, just because I like the trippy style of it, the light rays, the cloning, the stuff like that, the kind of ghost trails. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go look up Young Lean's music videos and look through it. So anyways, I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do what you just saw at the beginning of this video. So here's what it looks like. As you guys can see, this is the cloning. Basically, I'm going to show you guys exactly what to do for here, and then it's pretty easy. I mean, nothing too crazy other than just clips stacked on top of each other for those cloning parts, some crossfades, and then I'm going to show you guys exactly what to do. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come over here, and I have 3 raw clips that I just used. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to pick a place where we want the effect to happen. So right here looks good, and then the second thing that we're going to do is we're going to hold down Alt on your keyboard or whatever it is on Mac, and just duplicate this. And then now you have your duplicated video layer. What you're going to want to do is click on this and then go down to Effects and then search for Crop. So now you're just going to drag your crop effect on top of that overlaid clip. And now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come over here to this pen tool and click that, the free draw Bezier tool. And what this is going to do is this is going to create a mask. So what you're going to want to do is just draw the part that you want to have duplicated. So pretty easy just for this phone, just a little square thing. If it gets messed up, you can click it, hold down Control, and just fix that. And then click again. And that's going to create the mask. A feather of 10 is okay. And then what you're going to want to do is click Invert. That way everything inside the mask is going to say normal, everything outside of the mask is going to be cropped, and you're just going to want to make left 100%. Everything is cropped on the layer above. Just to prove it to you, I can hide this video layer, and this is what we have so far. So if you see this, everything's working fine. So I'm going to bring this back up. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make a keyframe so that whenever it moves across, the crop moves also. So to do that, all you have to do is come over here, make sure you're under your effect control panel, and then just click mask path. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do is just click back on your timeline, and then just use the arrow keys on your keyboard, click to the right twice. That's going to move over 2 frames, and then just take this with the little hand tool and just drag it over, so that it covers a similar area of what it was normally. If you really need to, you can take these and move each of the 4 points. But as you see, since I moved that, it's creating a keyframe right here. So whenever I play it back through, it's going to be an animation. So I'm just going to do it a few more times, and then it'll probably make sense to you if you're still confused. Take the hand tool, move it over a little bit. So I went through and I did a little bit of the work. If you want, you can always make this longer. Just for time's sake, I'm just going to keep it like this, just to show you exactly what I mean by keyframe animation. Now that you have all these keyframes, if I turn off this original video layer and just look at the crop, this is what it's going to look like. So as you can see, it's kind of moving along, and I'm going to do that as well. So this is the exact animation we have, and I'm going to cut out the other parts that I'm not using. And now just to create that distortion clone effect, what I'm going to do is just click on my keyframed animation cutout clip, and I'm going to go over to motion, and I'm just going to change this position. I'm just going to grab it and drag to the left a little bit. So as you see, since I dragged to the left, the keyframe crop that we have moved over to the left a little bit, like that. So now all you have to do is just hold down Alt and just make some more duplications of this, and that's going to make another copy of this cropped out layer right here. And then what you're going to want to do is just take the position of this new layer, subtract it by 100 of the horizontal. So this is 1794. I'm going to make it 1694, and then click enter. And now if you look back, you're going to see that it's just going to move over to the left a little bit. So I'm going to do that again. Hold down Alt, drag up, subtract by 100, so 1594. Click enter, and that's going to create another copy. So So now that you have all your copies, what you really have to do is just make them so that they come in a cool way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it so that it comes in at a different level. So I want it to be 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So you're just going to change the duration of each of these and kind of make like stair pattern like that. And then all you have to do is so now all you have to do to add that fade in is right click at the beginning of these clips for the cropped out things. Apply default transitions. It's going to make these cross dissolves like this, and then you can adjust them however you want. If you're able to hang along in this tutorial, since it's pretty advanced, this would be pretty easy, but like that. So that's how you do that cool little clone effect. So now let's move on to another thing. So the next thing that we're going to add is a wave warp. There's a lot of wave warp in a lot of Young Lean's music videos. So what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna keep it on this clip. So I'm just gonna cut it. And I'm gonna look up wave, and wave warp is right here under distort. To add that wave warp effect, you can copy these settings that I have right here, or you can just tweak with it depending on whatever clip you have. To do that, I'm gonna play that for you. And you can see it just kind of waves like that. If you really wanted to, you could even click this pen tool and cut around the person that you're trying to isolate, and then invert it the same way I showed you with those crops. That way that they're not affected by the warp. Okay, so let's move on to the next effect that I showed you in the beginning clips of this. The first one is going to be the mirror effect. So take that, throw that on there, and then drag down your effect controls. And I'm going to make it 90 degrees and just use keyframes to place it wherever you want. So for example, halfway through this clip I want it to be 90 degrees, but at the beginning of this clip, if you drag down and you create a little keyframe timer right here, I want it to be 0. So I want it to kind of like swing in. So if you keyframed it properly, whenever you play it, it'll play like this. It'll swing in like that. And now we're just going to add an invert effect. So we added the mirror, now we're going to add invert. Make sure you're doing the channel, not the audio, like this. And that looks pretty trippy in itself. If you wanted to, you could even do the same exact thing. Keyframe it. If I click keyframe for blend with original, make it 0. When I go back and make it 100. Also, I did another little effect in the beginning where I held down Alt, made a duplicate copy of this layer, and I just changed the scale over here under motion to 50. And that's just going to create this cool little, that's just going to create a normal square. And then if you keyframe that, we're going to make that 100 actually, and then we're going to go back to the beginning and then we're going to make that 50. So now it's going to start like a small square and it's going to keyframe up to just normal size. Okay guys, so if you'd like to do this transition right here, if you guys have seen the music video LSD by A$AP Rocky, it's like the same exact transition thing. Basically I used a plugin, so I used the Sapphire plugins, and I use Sapphire, Distort, Chroma. So look up the Sapphire plugins if you'd like. If you're not into paying for money, it's okay. You just won't be able to make this like crazy psychedelic built-in thing, but it doesn't matter because there's still a lot of other transitions and stuff you could use. But just keep that in mind that this is a Sapphire plugin. So if you want to do this right here, then you'll have to have Sapphire. But Sapphire is pretty crazy, so if you look on the internet, you might be able to find it for free. But I can't talk about that anymore just because of. It's a very simple effect. It's built into Adobe Premiere Pro. You just have to look up glow. And I have also Sapphire glows, which are a little bit different, but if you go right here, alpha glow, drag that on there. So as you can see, it's a very nice little glow effect right here. So that's pretty simple. I'm going to play this through, and to create that clone effect, I already showed you how to do it with the crop, but there is another easier way how to do it, and I'm just going to go through it real quick. And all you have to do, I'm just going to cut this part out. So say I want to just pick this. I'm just going to duplicate this layer twice, and I'm just going to change the blending mode, of this duplicated layer to anything that looks best to you. So for example, I put it on darken just for this lighting instance, and then I'm just going to move this over a little bit just so you can see the duplicated layer time. So 1520, this one is going to be 1320, and then it's going to create this cool clone effect, and then just do the same exact thing if you want them to like fade in. Just add those default crossfades and then kind of change the duration a little bit like that. And then for the last effect at the end clip of this video, all I did was just add another glow for the sky. And then I also added another one of the Sapphire plugins called Sapphire Rays, and it creates that cool ray effect that you saw in that Kyoto video. So don't worry if you don't have that plugin. You can still use the built-in glow effect. It still looks completely fine. It's just that kind of added thing if you want to get it. So it looks like that, and it looks really cool. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoy this video. This is kind of a more advanced tutorial, but it shows some really cool effects for those of you that are interested in it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Leave any suggestions in the comments below. Anything that you want me to react to, make a tutorial. Anything that you want me to react to, make a tutorial to, break down. Anything that you want at all in terms of editing, film, photo stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.